Let's rewind.
Rewind!
Welcome back to ScreenCrush Rewind. I am your host, Ryan Airy, and today we are going to talk about some Marvel news and leaks and rumors and stuff like that that's coming out. And I guess even though we talk about this particular leaker or rumor monger quite a lot, Alex Perez, I should just, before we get into all this news, talk, I don't know. We don't know. We don't know if it's real or not, but it is going to bring up some interesting questions we're going to talk about what we want to see happen next in the MCU. And later we're going to talk about superhero fatigue, if it exists, if Marvel can ever recover and become the box office behemoth it used to be. Today, we are going to talk about, apparently, the Russo brothers making a secret Avengers movie. There's been leaks coming out about that. Black Panther 3, X-Men, and lots of other stuff. But I'm not going to do this by myself. Nobody wants to see that, so I got to bring on some friends. First of all, let me bring on the guy who's trapped in our TV and doesn't know it, so please don't tell him, Mr. Colton Ogburn. What's up, Colton?
Hey, buddy. So excited to be here with you today.
Oh, dude,
Thought I'd be nice today.
You know what's funny is, in real life, that'd be a really weird way to start a hang. If we sat down together and it's just like, oh yeah, Colton, come on in. You sat down and said, I'm really excited to be talking here with you today.
Yeah,
I want to be nice.
I just slowly put my hand on your shoulder. Yeah.
Or just you're a serial killer, or just like you're going to slip something into my tea. That's where my
Yeah.
And next up, you know him as the guy who's always on break, Mr. Tommy Bechtold. What's up, Tommy?
Janet, America's turning 250 years old. That's why I ordered 250 Clydesdales. If America was turning 10, I'd order 10 Clydesdales. It's math, Janet. I'm not in the accounting department. Ryan, I'm sorry. I'm up to it in horses right now.
Dude, I've been there before. I have some advice when it comes to Clydesdales, and this is just from personal experience. Don't let them in your living room because they will poop on stuff.
Noted.
Don't let them in your Star Wars trailer either.
Oh, man, that's excellent. I wish I would have done that. That was a much better joke. And next up, the guy who's always on hold for some reason, Mr. Alex Albin. What's up, Alex?
Hey, yeah, I'm actually on hold with Disney Plus right now, and it's kind of annoying, but they have this sick hold music. It's going dun 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 dun. I can't identify the tune, but then it goes. Oh, yeah, that's the one. What is that, like Taylor Swift or something? Olivia Rodrigo, maybe? I honestly don't. I don't know.
It could be, yeah. I thought we were all going to do it for a second. I thought it was going to be like a Stereophonics video, and we were like really into it because I could rock that shit. There's a moment, I don't know if you guys have seen X-Men 97 season 2 yet, but there's a moment in episode 1 where they they get their shit together and the theme kicks in, and I'm just like, that the show owns me anytime I hear that. And if the X-Men in the MCU don't use that theme, they're doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. It's that theme is the X-Men in so many ways.
It's a no skips intro every single time. You cannot hit that skip button. You have to watch it.
Episode 2 mixes it up. It gets a little more heavy metal because the episode focuses on X-Force, which is pretty cool because like X-Force, that era of comics, I fully recognize as being bad, but like that really is special to me, the X-Force, Rob Liefeld era.
Didn't they use some of that, the animated series theme in the films, or am I imagining that?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. Okay.
And in Miss Marvel, they had it when they said the word mutant, they did like
And then when Professor X shows up in Multiverse of Madness, which it made sense. And Ms. Marvel, it's like, oh, they're going to keep doing this. This is going to be the theme. I personally, I think a few years ago for a ScreenCrush video we never made, I wrote a plot line of an X-Men movie I'd like to see, which kind of is what they're doing. I mean, it's sort of close. Like my thing was like, keep it basic, keep it simple. They're just getting together. They're all teenagers and make it about like mutants in the world. And it looks like, I don't know if we're going to talk about if this is in the rundown, it's not, but there are X-Men casting rumors that include like Sydney Sweeney as the White Queen and somebody else as Sebastian Shaw. So it looks like the first villains might be the Hellfire Club, which kind of makes sense. If you think about it, if it's a young team getting together, then they would have to fight against the established hierarchy of mutants, the secret cabal who are controlling everything. Not on the rundown, but what do you guys think about the Hellfire Club as a first X-Men villain?
That's what Tommy always refers to Sydney Sweeney as, my White Queen. Yeah, so I think that works.
I just don't know complicated words. I just identify everyone by how I see them.
She has good genes.
Yeah,
my thing about Sydney Sweeney is the White Queen, though. I think she's like 10 years too young because I always pictured the White Queen like a lot older. She dresses in this revealing outfit, but that's really just to screw with people, so she knows what they're thinking all the time.
I mean, I don't want to be too rude or misogynistic about it, but I feel like whenever there is a character that dresses in scantily clad clothing in comic books, like, you know who'd be good? Sydney Sweeney. Let's put her in there. And
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it never happens because it happened once, but usually it doesn't happen.
You know who'd be really good, and as the version of Sue Storm that briefly wore like a belt and nothing else? That's Sydney Sweeney. She's
yeah.
But no, I kind of thought, oh my god, the name is the woman who played Mon Mothma. I was like, yeah, that's the kind of gravitas.
Oh, Genevieve O'Reilly.
Right, Genevieve O'Reilly. Like that's the White Queen. And I think I posted that on Twitter, like, no, because she's not hot enough. Because they want like a supermodel to do it. I'm like, that's
she's gotta be bodacious, bro. She's gotta be bodacious.
Just for a second, I thought you were going to say Bo Derek.
She's gotta be Bo Derek.
I totally like have not let go of the 80s.
Bo Derek and Tommy Boy, come on. Bo Derek
was that Bo Derek in the pool?
Yeah, that was Bo Derek as the stepmother. Yeah, that marries Big Tom Callahan.
Oh, I thought you meant in the pool with the whole Yankees joke.
Is that for me? I love Tommy Boy. I have a poster right here. I have Tommy Boy. No, son, that's for me. Anyway, I don't think any of us answered your question. It sounds good.
Yeah, let's answer that question real quick. Yeah,
David Spade for White Queen. Sorry, what are we talking about?
Absolutely. He's too busy podcasting these days.
David Spade for Morph.
I'm always Jesus Christ.
Dana Carvey for Morph.
I'm always for them. I want them to explore different X-Men villains than what we've seen before. I feel like they've rehashed, the same villains over and over with the films we've gotten. So yeah, I think the White Queen would be really cool. Wasn't your original idea like it would be pre-X-Men, right? Like they're kind of like on the run and like still finding their way. Like
no, well, that's what I think they're doing now. Excuse me. I think what my idea was that they're just on a field trip to the city. They haven't been like, they're not even like a team yet. They're just like students in school. And then, I don't know. I always like when I was a kid, anytime there was a movie where kids got out of their comfort zone and disappeared into a city, like it's not about kids, but this movie Judgment Night did that, which is really good. At least when I was 12 and I saw it. But also Adventures in Babysitting. That was kind of like my thing was like, let's do it like Adventures in Babysitting, but with mutants. So some of them go to like a mutant club and like they're going to get kidnapped to have mutant growth hormone harvested from them. Some of them stumble into a Friends of Humanity meeting. And then at the end of it, I think I had the Morlocks Center because I think the Morlocks and the Hellfire Club were a good contrast because you've got like the ruling class of mutant kind and then the people who are forced to live in the sewers.
I like it, man. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that does really nicely, and by the way, you should definitely sue Marvel if they end up doing this. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Well, I never made the video, so I
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As a lawyer,
true,
you have grounds for a case for sure. I think the idea also of just having a team go up against them, because most of the time when a villain comes up, it's like, oh, we should have Apocalypse, we should have Mr. Sinister. It's just this one guy at the top, but having at least 4 people, if we're talking Hellfire Club, going up against 4 to 5 people. I just like that. We haven't really gotten a lot of team versus team movies. It's usually the team versus one main enemy and then a bunch of stooges, and that's pretty much it. And that would be cool to see on screen.
I mean, we have seen the Hellfire Club before on screen.
Yes.
But it wasn't the Hellfire Club. You know what I mean? Like, nah, the Hellfire Club is dressing up in weird medieval costumes and and all due respect to Mr. Bacon, that's not my Sebastian.
Well, they
show,
kind of they stylized the Hellfire Club as like the Playboy Club, right? Like it was like kind of like a glitzy, ritzy place to like hang out.
They did.
Because it was like a 60s movie, right? Like they kind of went with that era. It was like, there's like beautiful women hanging around in cocktail dresses, guys in suits. Maybe someone's playing roulette somewhere. We don't know. I like the idea of getting it.
The cool thing too. Well, I promise we'll get to the Secret Avengers movie in just a second. But the cool thing too about doing the Hellfire Club is when they first appeared in the original Chris Claremont comic and John Byrne, they really just put the X-Men on their back foot. And this was a pretty powerful roster of X-Men. This was Phoenix, and they mind controlled the Phoenix. It was Wolverine, Colossus. Like it was that classic lineup, and they kicked the shit out of them. But if they do this, it's a shame that Wolverine wouldn't be in this movie because probably the most famous Wolverine panel, or one of, was this. when they knocked him down into the sewer early in the comic, and he's down there for the whole time. And then the very last panel is this cliffhanger. The claws are out, and he's going to go out and absolutely whip ass against the Hellfire Club. Anyways, that was all not on the docket, but I'm looking forward to hearing more about X-Men. Do you guys think we'll get an X-Men announcement at SDCC?
Yeah. I think they have to, because they start filming that like next
Should
month,
be now,
right?
Yeah.
So,
Either that or D23.
Yeah, they might just save Doomsday. We know Doomsday is going to be at SDCC because all the stuff is like everywhere for it.
The only thing that might hold it up is how bullish they want to be about Sadie Sink in Spider-Man Brand New Day. If they really actually want to hold on to it until July 31st with the movie. Yes.
Isn't Comic-Con the same weekend that Spider-Man releases?
I thought it was the weekend.
Weekend before.
Oh, it is? Okay.
So if they really want to hold on to it, they probably won't do an X-Men announcement if she is in fact Jean Grey, just because they would want to include her in that, in which case D23 seems the likely place to do it. But yeah, they got to do it soon, I think.
It's funny with the things they will try to make into twists and the things that they will reveal early, isn't it? Like, because when you hear that Sadie Sink is cast in a Marvel movie, you're like, oh, I mean, she got right here. It's probably Jean Grey. Like, that's your first guess. And the fact that they're like, no, we're not going to say, and it's not going to be revealed until the movie is out. You know, and then other things like when you go to, I remember seeing a screening of Far From Home, and they hid our phones away because they didn't want to reveal that J. Jonah Jameson was in it. It's like, people are just going to talk. Like, it's weird that they, you know, some of the things that they will hone in on, you know,
well,
like Andrew Garfield and all those guys.
I was going to say the three Spider-Men in No Way Home was like a big thing, right? Like, it was like so heavily rumored, and it had basically been spoiled for everyone, unless you just really wanted to believe that it was like maybe not going to happen. And then Variety spoiled it 2 minutes after the movie was released in their article. They were like, yeah.
You know, the one I really hated? I hated that Mephisto was spoiled in Ironheart. That would have been a damn cool reveal had it happened. And at the time when it came out, you're like, oh, that seems gimmicky. You know, like when you first heard the news, you're like, I don't really know what they're doing with that. But in the context of the show, it made perfect sense. And Seb Ohani, when he was on, said they were so careful. Like, it was only like everyone in the restaurant that was an extra was like a crew member's family member. You know, it's weird that they couldn't just do CGI and like camera tricks to not have him on scene with them. But like, then it leaked the next day. I wish these things don't. Even though we're about to talk about leaks and rumors and things like that, which are mostly just rumors, not leaks. When it comes to individual movies, I would much rather be surprised. I don't even like watching trailers, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. These days, I would love to go in absolutely blind to a movie. Anyways, happy Canada Day. I did. I didn't watch a single trailer. It got awkward in the theater when one came on, and I'd have to go like that. And people were.
Can I give you a Canadian fun fact for Canada Day?
Please.
Did you know that Lee Greenwood, author and songwriter and singer of God Bless the USA, also has a similar song with the exact same backing music called God Bless Canada?
Traitor.
No way.
And it has almost the same lyrics except for Canadian cities and geological pinpoints or whatever when they talk about mountains and streams and lakes. But it's, other than that, word for word, the exact same song.
I got this for you. Okay, I got one for our Canadian friends. The British got a Canadian grizzly, brought it over to the UK and had it in a zoo. And then this kid, went to go see the zoo with his dad, and the kid loved it very much. He was like, looked at he loved the bear, and he named his pet teddy bear after it. And then his father, A.A. Milne, named his character Winnie the Pooh after that teddy bear, which was called Winnipeg, because that's where the bear came from. That's my Canada fact. Winnie the Pooh is basically Canadian.
I thought you were the boy. I'll be honest. I thought this was all just an anecdote about your trip. I was like, that's a sweet story, right?
And that little boy was me.
I have a fun Canada fact.
Okay.
It's an inferior country.
Yeah, hell yeah,
dude. Stop it, you. And on that note,
America's dunce cat.
Let's get into this. So Alex Perez over at Cosmic Circus, very reliable leaker Alex Perez, has said, once again reiterated the rumor that Marvel is exploring the idea of a two-parter for Secret Wars. Alex Perez says multiple sources say the Russos are in talks for another Avengers film, but it's unclear if it's the follow-up after Secret Wars or if Secret Wars is being split into two. He also says it's too early to tell, but he doesn't think there will be any mantle-passing scenes in Secret Wars, so it's possible the status quo won't change that much as it did in Endgame. Well, look, we're changing the status quo, got them after Endgame. A lot to unpack there. First of all, let's just start with the obvious question. Do you think there's any chance they're going to split Secret Wars into two movies?
I think we're talking, I think both of those two options of are they going to split Secret Wars in two movies or do a direct follow-up to Secret Wars, I feel like that's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like there's a difference there. Either there's like this story they want to, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you're right. Keep going.
Like either like there's this general story they have planned and they're thinking, you know what, we could probably milk two movies out of that and, you know, make Doomsday, Secret Wars, and whatever a trilogy. Or we just want to keep doing more. I feel like it's the same thing. And I think they should. I 100% think they should. I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, do this. Look, you're going to have so much momentum from Doomsday to Secret Wars. It's a big story, lots of characters. I see no reason not to have it be like this trilogy, a true trilogy of Marvel movies, Avengers movies that you can watch without having to see other stuff in between.
Well, my thought is, if you if you make Secret Wars into two movies, does that hamstring the movies and TV that comes out in between the two Secret Wars movies then? Because you can't really move forward until another giant movie comes out, which ostensibly, if they are they filming Secret Wars now? Or is it
August?
August?
Yeah, they start in August,
so they would need to basically film those movies back to back to not have it be 5 years from now before the new MCU starts, right? Like, right. I mean, maybe that's a little dramatic timeline, but I think splitting Secret Wars into two movies kind of almost freezes in time the development of TV and other movie projects, doesn't it?
On the other hand, they are releasing Daredevil between season 3 between Doomsday and Secret Wars. Sorry, Alex, go ahead.
No, I mean, that ties into kind of what I was going to say is it's sort of funny because it's a classic comic book problem with event series where almost every single time in the modern era, not in the old era, but in the modern era, because art takes a while, certainly longer than writing, you end up with these delays on event series where Marvel has been particularly bad about this, though they're getting more on track, where the end of an event series will come after the status quo has already shifted in the main comics. Yeah. So you'll get like basically spoilers for what's going to happen in 2, 3, 4 months' time at the end of this, you know, Civil War II or whatever that they're doing there, where you're like, oh, okay, that kind of took the wind out of the sails.
Right.
So I mean, kind of going back all the way to Civil Wars 84, where in continuity, that wasn't because of delays, but we knew Spider-Man got a black suit before we ever read the series, you know?
Yeah, and there are ways, I think, of playing with that in things where, this is a bad example because everybody would know what this means, but if you release a Spider-Man movie between Secret Wars 1, the movie, and Secret Wars 2, the movie, and he's wearing a black suit, ostensibly it'd be like, ooh, what's that about? Where did he get that suit? And then you find out in Secret Wars 2, and it sort of retroactively does that. But I don't think that's possible to do the same way, like you're talking about, with the TV and movie schedule. So even though I agree, I think like they are absolutely, just because of the number of actors, the amount of plot, and the amount of money they'd be leaving on the table, they're absolutely, if they can work it out contract-wise, going to film from August all the way through December and split it in two. It does push those other things back, and it causes a lot of cascading problems.
They've also
the salaries are a huge part of that. You just mentioned contracts, but they have to basically double everybody's pay if they split into two movies. Sorry, Colton, go ahead.
Yeah, well, they also changed. This was a few months ago. There was something that changed about the production plan for Secret Wars, right? Like they pushed it, and it got recategorized as like I can't remember exactly what the wording was, but it wasn't like this concrete thing. It was just like a temporary thing, and that's when a lot of these stories started going around talking about, well, what are they doing here? Because it seems like they're kind of paused on what their production plans are for the movie. And it kind of hinted at, well, maybe they are looking at extending, you know, doing like a back-to-back thing. What's a good example of movies that were filmed back-to-back? Like on the same
2 and 3, The Matrix 2 and 3.
Lord of the Rings, right? They all filmed bang, bang, bang.
Lord of the Rings. But like basically,
I think Cameron did it with some of the Avatar, like 2 and 2. He filmed some 3 on the set of 2.
Maybe some, but not very much. They basically stopped and waited until they knew they were getting the next one. But Lord of the Rings was filmed that way, but it's different how they do it sometimes. Like Lord of the Rings, Usually they do it chronologically, but then sometimes they will kind of overlap and do different stuff with it. The Matrix is probably the most integrated the two productions have ever been, from what I know.
I just think it's not a once in a lifetime, but a once in like maybe the next 30 years opportunity to like just do it. I mean, do these two movies with all these different. I'm fine with delaying the new MCU a year. You know, I'm fine if they get a little bit more time to make this new X-Men movie and everything gets pushed like, you know, maybe 8 months so we can get. And you really wouldn't even have to push it that much because you could still have that X-Men movie come out like right after the new Secret Wars movie. I think they should do it.
Originally, RPK said this is going back a couple of years on the rumor mill. He said their plan was anything that was released between Avengers, I guess it still would have been Doomsday, and Secret Wars would take place on Battle World. So any TV show, which is why we were speculating, like, yeah, if they do Young Avengers, it'd be cool if they were on Battle World and they were looking for Wanda Maximoff. Maybe that's the plan. And maybe they're going to announce that plan at Comic-Con. You know, and that's what they did in the Secret Wars books. Whenever Doom made Battle World, they didn't just end it in 7 issues. They went ahead and showed how everybody was faring. And Old Man Logan had his universe and the Thor Corps. And it was, you know, some of the books were good, some weren't, but like at least it was a new way to tell stories. I personally think it's a bad idea to do that because, sorry, Alex, real quick, just because I think it's a little bit more complicated for the everyday fan. But sorry, Alex, go for it.
No, I was going to say, actually, I love that idea, but in moderation, which I don't know if the MCU has been better at recently, certainly. But like when it originally came out and I had heard it, or we had heard it as between Doomsday and Secret Wars, you would get potentially the Spider-Man movie would be the one movie between them. And it would be set on Battle World. That's cool. Do one movie like that isn't necessarily the main plot of Secret Wars 1 and 2, but it's Doctor Strange 3 or, you know, another Captain America movie or whatever, where they're going on their own adventure and meanwhile there's a bunch of Hulks wandering around in the background. That's fun, and that would be a fun thing to watch, and it wouldn't necessarily have to be this big fight against Doom, but don't necessarily do like 5 movies or a TV show, because I think that's going to start testing people's patience again.
I would love to see Marvel exercise moderation. Like this issue of like different shows and movies that would be coming out between the two. Like, what does that do for those? Maybe we don't need like a lot of shows and movies coming up. I would love to see Marvel just be like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to release Daredevil Born Again season 3, and we're going to trust you to understand that it's taking place before Doomsday or whatever. It's probably a very disconnected story anyway. And maybe we'll do like X-Men 97 season 3, do Marvel Zombies. But apart from that, we're just going to let these 3 Avengers movies come out. We're not going to do a bunch of other stuff between. We're just going to let these roll. That's going to be our full focus. We're going to put out Doomsday, Secret Wars, 3rd film in a 3-year span. That would be, I think, really bold and probably pay off pretty well.
But we're also guessing that go ahead, Cole. Go ahead, Tommy.
I was just going to say, you forget that like 15 years ago or 20 years ago, DC just put Batman movies out every 2 or 3 years. And it was like, there wasn't like a ton of companion broadcasts and shows and other things tying into it. It was like, we just look forward to the Nolan Batman movies as they came out. It was like 2003, 2009, 2012, right? So it's like, it's a 9-year span between movies. So yeah, you're right. Like viewers can adjust to that schedule of like, you just get the Avengers movies.
Well, we're also kind of just assuming Doomsday is going to be good and be a big hit.
Right.
Yes, and I don't know that that'll 100% happen. Like Avengers Age of Ultron underperformed. I definitely think that the built-in audience, you know, had they been building up to Doctor Doom the whole time, had fans been really engaged every step of the way, had this been seeded a little bit better, I think they would be a lot more engaged. But you know, before we get into Black Panther 3 and this other stuff, but do you guys think that, you know, what are your thoughts on that? Do you want to put the cart before the horse and say we're making 3 movies before the first one comes out?
That's why the Downey casting, I think, was really smart, because it already does so much of that. It gives that interest. Like it gives the audience that interest in Doctor Doom. Like, oh, Iron Man is playing Doctor Doom. Okay. If it were Cillian Murphy, I love Cillian Murphy, but it's like, oh, who is this guy? But when it's Robert Downey Jr., it's like, oh shit, okay, yeah, I'll go watch that new Avengers.
For civilians, yeah. I mean, for the normies, not the real fans like us.
Yeah,
right.
Yes, I mean, I think it's guaranteed an enormous opening weekend, but if it's bad, it's not going to have a great second weekend. If it's good or okay, it'll probably continue and more than justify a first Secret Wars, but both of those movies need to be good, and whatever else they put out needs to be good to really turn the narrative generally against, like, this isn't necessarily a must-see in theaters. But
am I too optimistic in thinking there's just no way they let this movie be bad? Like, I feel like Kevin Feige is just, I don't know, man. I feel like Feige realizes just how important Doomsday is.
Of course he does.
Like, he's let some things,
but
I think he took his eye off the ball a little bit and got a little
Fantastic
cocky.
Four was important.
It was.
Deadpool and Wolverine was in, and Deadpool and Wolverine made a lot of money, but like, it's not that good. I mean, at least in my opinion, like, there's just other issues with quality. There's some movies you can go, yeah, it doesn't really matter that much if, I don't know, Shang-Chi is a big hit, but we need this Doctor Strange movie to really hit. You know, we need the Thor movie to really hit. Maybe I'm just being devil's advocate here. I don't know, but like, just in terms of history, I think we look at what they accomplished in the first 10 years of the Infinity Saga, and that was a hell of an achievement. Like, it really shouldn't have happened. They just had a really great group of dedicated people working at that. And the fact that the Russo brothers did 4 of those films, I think, is also really important because it at least gave it a narrative through line. Whereas like here, I'm like, woof, boy, that's going to be a lot. I don't know how they're going to tie it together. I'm not saying I think the movie's going to be bad, but just like, if it is bad, splitting this into 2 films, 2 Secret Wars movies, isn't going to be the best choice. Let me throw this out there. So my first take on the news when I read it wasn't that they were splitting up Secret Wars. It was the Russo brothers are making another Avengers movie, which for me is like, no shit. Like, whenever Joss Whedon finished up the Avengers and it was a big hit, Marvel put him in this like advisory capacity where he was reading the screenplays for other films and giving input on them. He famously told James Gunn his first Guardians draft didn't have enough of James Gunn in it. He fought the creative committee when it came to certain decisions the filmmakers are making. I feel like, I mean, I'm going to put on my optimist hat and say Secret Wars is going to be great. It's going to wrap everything up. And then the Russo brothers should be given the keys to make Avengers movies that are culminations of the saga while guiding these overall stories along with Kevin Feige and Brad Winderbaum. What do you guys think?
I could agree with that. I mean, if we're going to go with that scenario, I think they've been, which seems insane, but the Russo brothers calling this phase 0, that this is the beginning of a new continuity-free Marvel universe where you could just start with Doomsday and watch from there, which I don't believe I believe 0%. Like, I do not believe that at all. But just going with that for a moment, if they really are wrapping things up there and starting something new, having them be like, okay, we're going to plan out what is our new phase 1, like you're saying, leading up to the Avengers movie that we are also directing, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Are you guys, Ryan, are you saying like the Russos would come in to do a third Avengers movie like in 8 years, like that kind of thing, like a saga capper, and that they would be?
I don't know about the timing. I would probably do it like this. If I were in charge of things and kind of gauging people's appetites, I think Marvel could easily do, let's just say, I think the 3 years works really well for a big tentpole movie, a 3-year cycle. Worked for Star Wars up until the sequel trilogy when they shortened it to 2, and we saw where that got us. So let's see, Secret Wars comes out in 27. I would say our next Avengers movie is going to be in 30. It's the Mutant Saga. They're not just going to do one X-Men. They're going to do X-Men other things, like maybe X-Force or, Fallen Angels or whatever. And I would probably go with, depending on the quality of the script and production timelines, 2 to 3 movies and 1 to 2 shows, plus maybe an animated series a year. But I also wouldn't say we've got a quota. I wouldn't say like, well, we can't do another season of Friendly Neighborhood because we're already doing X-Men 97. Like, you can enlarge more. But the main thing, I think, is if you're telling everybody, just for example, we're building up to Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is going to be the capper of phase 7. Okay, so then you're able to tell those creatives down the line, like in the X-Men movie, you can be like, yeah, so space stuff. Feel free, like, we're taking pitches for X-Men space stuff, or however you want to do it, And then if you have the Russos there at the head, kind of leading the charge creatively, they can also be looking at the other projects and saying, oh, that's good. We can use that. Or, oh, yeah, you know what? We're doing something like that. Or, hey, have you read the script for for instance, the fact that Doctor Strange looks into the future in Infinity War was taken from Doctor Strange. Like they got that idea from Scott Derrickson's script.
I just hope that the next Avengers movie, like the next movie with the word Avengers in it, I hope it's not a Russo thing. Not any disrespect to the Russos, but I want it to be more like Thunderbolts. Like I hope they do a new Avengers with Yelena and Sam, and it's a back to basics like Avengers movie. I don't know that I haven't. Yeah,
but the Russo brothers could do that movie. 100%.
They could, but I think in the scenario we're painting, I don't like the idea of the Russos necessarily doing all of the Phase Capper movies. I like the idea of them perhaps maybe stepping into Kevin Feige's role and maybe Feige getting promoted to like over Walt Disney Studios so he can play with Lucasfilm a little bit too. And then you could have the Russos overseeing a saga, like the 3 phases, and they're just like the story guys. They're there, they're guiding. And yes, then they do come in and do Marvel's Apocalypse or whatever at the end of that saga, not just the end of the phase. Yeah, I would like that.
That would work too. Anybody else got a thought on that? Do we like the Russos sticking around regardless?
I'd love for them to bring in some new blood personally, but this is just me being kind of annoyed at the Russos in general, maybe. Plus, since Marvel, their output
I will be right back, by the way. Keep going. Sorry.
All right.
You made Ryan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He loves the Russos. I get it. I don't know. Their output has not been great. Like Electric State was actively bad. There was Gray Man. There was Citadel that they produced that just did not really do anything. And I do hope they bring it on Doomsday and Secret Wars. I hope that the Marvel is the secret sauce that was missing, but I'm not confident about that.
It's like they're only good at making Marvel movies. I don't know.
They've got one
and TV.
One thing they do really well, and it's Marvel movies. You know what's crazy to me? Kevin Feige is only 53 years old.
Wow.
Like, God, what a career.
If you think about when did he take over the MCU? 2013? 2012?
Well, fully take it over, maybe, but he was basically running it since 2006.
So he was in his 30s. Because I'm thinking about, like, I'm in my head being like, okay, so like the next 10, 15 years, how old is Feige going to be? And it's like, oh, he's going to be like in his early 60s in 10 years. Like, he'll be fine. He can do this forever. Like,
another multiverse saga is going to age him bad, though. So I don't know. I kind of feel like no matter what, the other rumors we've seen, they are doing like a back to basics Avengers team thing. And like we've said before, when they do big ass crossovers, it'll probably be under the title Marvel Studios Presents or something like that.
And that is such a unique thing that the Russos do seem to kind of have locked down, which this huge culminate, like making that kind of movie versus making almost any other kind of movie, like even any other kind of Marvel movie, that is such a different skill set. Like I kind of get overwhelmed just thinking about how the scheduling and like the actual making of a movie as big as Doomsday must be. And they do seem to have that, locked down. So I'm all for keeping them around for that. But I am kind of on the same page as Alex with I want new blood as well. I don't want the Russos just doing, Avengers movies every 3 to 5 years.
Not a lot of people have the skill. And I'll tell you one thing I've noticed, the people who they tend to pull from TV, Joss Whedon too, you got experience on this like hectic schedule, run a lot of plates spinning, big cast. Like they tend to be the people who flourish in the system a little bit more. But who knows? I wouldn't have said the Russo brothers before they became famous with Winter Soldier. There's a few other little tidbit rumors. We got a few on this list. There's some of them I'm like, I don't know. This is like spoilery. I don't like it too spoilery. It says right here, the movie will feature, according to Alex Perez, Illuminati 2.0 and Avengers Doomsday, though they won't call themselves that. And I think I saw somewhere else, but it's not listed in here about the different universes that are listed. And 838, the universe of the Illuminati is listed in there. So I did think it was kind of weird that they were like in Multiverse of Madness, and now meet the Illuminati, and they like in their chairs. The Illuminati. So in the comics, the Illuminati, meet in secret, like in Illuminati, like they don't have a headquarters in Central Park, and call them. So this kind of defies the purpose of calling yourselves the Illuminati, which is like a secret society.
What if 838 was just really dumb? What if everyone at 838 was like really well-spoken idiots? And that's the thing we don't realize about that universe is like they all have like a verbal IQ of like 140, but like an actual intellect IQ of like 70.
They did eat pizza balls. They did eat pizza balls, which is not smart. So that backs up the theory.
Like Charlize Theron's character in season 3 of Arrested Development, they sound smart and they're actually not that intelligent. I kind of feel like it makes sense to bring that universe into it. I think if it's the multiverse saga, and if we're not bringing in the animated shows and stuff, which it seems like they kind of keep those over here in the Watcher and all that, well, shit, how many universes do we have?
Not many.
X-Men, Fantastic Four, Illuminati, and that's about it. And we've pointed out in past videos that the Illuminati are going to be pissed at Doctor Strange and Wanda and all the, like wiping out all their greatest heroes. So I could
Who's
see...
left? They're all dead.
Oh. No, I mean, read the Fantastic Four, the rest of the Fantastic Four. There's presumably other Avengers who are out there. There's Ultron bots. Does that imply there's a Tony Stark? Balder the Brave was cut from the movie.
I think it's too much. I don't think we see A38 again. Is he saying we do?
Think about this. Picture this, right? Sam's team, they're finally together. They get to 838. What are they going to do when they get to the place where the walk and don't walk colors are reversed or whatever it was in the movie? That's going to be very tough for them. They're going to be like, do we?
It would be tough for me.
Yeah.
Especially, the color blindness rocking. Alex Perez also hints that Sam's Avengers team isn't even established yet. This is in Doomsday. When asked about their characters, Perez said, is it really the Avengers if it's just two of them when we start?
So it's just him and Joaquin?
It might just be him and Falcon if that's true. I don't know who else. I see other heroes involved here, right? Like Shang-Chi, for example, is somebody who has a connection to whatever's going on through the beacon. Mm-hmm. Dope, right? We're cool with that. Everybody liked that post-credit scene. We want to see what's going on there. So I could see him being pulled in and then Sam being like, do you want to join my Avengers team? I don't know. Like, it's kind of like, and who from the trailer description sounds like they would be on Sam's team?
Wouldn't Ant-Man be?
Yeah, he would
Wasn't
be.
his tiny chair there? Wouldn't Scott Lang be in?
Sure.
Yeah.
If he decides to do it, but he has another reason to be there, which is Kank. He's already dealt with the multiverse shit.
How does that hook up with the Thunderbolts end credit scene then, where it seems pretty clear that Bucky's going to talk to Sam because he already has a team that's working? Unless...
Well, he was suing for the copyright of the name.
Right.
Which, by the way, very sensible of Sam to do. To make sure he's got all his paperwork done, he's got all that locked down,
And that's a time skip. It's like a 14-month time skip? That post-credit scene?
I don't know why it's so damn hard for characters to form. I don't understand in universe. I don't understand why they didn't form the Avengers again after Endgame.
Have you ever tried to get a bunch of your friends to go on vacation? It's impossible.
It's not the same thing. Come on. No. Like, in Avengers Disassembled, it made sense because all the Avengers felt really guilty about like hiding Wanda going crazy from her, right? So they felt like they didn't deserve to be a team. They just saved the damn world, man. Like the breakup made sense after Civil War. And this, I don't understand it. I don't know, like maybe they didn't have somebody to collect them. If Black Widow would have been alive, I'm sure she would have gathered people together. But what in-universe explanation do you think they offer for why the Avengers aren't a thing?
Maybe, I mean, it might simply, I'm really stretching my brain here, but it might simply just be that there's no real leader, or they feel like there's no real leader, just because Sam would be the natural one taking up the Captain America mantle, but it takes him a really long time and an entire TV show and a movie to really firmly actually accept that in any real way. So maybe that's it. There's also no real Iron Man figure who's going to assemble an opposite Avengers or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So that might be it. But I agree with you at the same time. It should not be that hard. It just feels like, well, we can't have an Avengers team unless there's an Avengers movie, when absolutely there should be an Avengers of this world.
I'm down with that. Another thing that Alex said here, I want to touch on this briefly before we get to details on Black Panther 3, which I'm very excited about. Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel on a scale of 1 to 10 are only about a 3 or a 4, so they're not very important. Do we have any confirmation Captain Marvel's in this movie? I think that's the first thing I've read that actually says she's in it. And what a change, because at one point Marvel was like, yeah, this, her and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, they were kind of looking at them as like the next big headliners. Her movie made $1 billion, for God's sake. I don't know. I don't even know how much Brie Larson wants to keep doing this based on like interviews and things, or if like the trolls.
Get Sydney Sweeney in there, or
right.
Tommy's White
Queen.
Totally. Yeah.
I don't know. So, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that they could actually give Captain Marvel? Do you think that we should see an outsized role for her, like a part 3 at least? Or did you like the Marvels even? Do you feel like they kind of steered it wrong? Just curious.
I thought the Marvels was fine, and I really liked the first Captain Marvel. I like that movie. I think Brie Larson's cool. I think the character of Carol Danvers is really cool, especially how they portray her in the MCU. I think it's a shame, kind of the lack of which they've used her, especially in this phase. I could have seen her being like a front-facing character for the post-in-game saga, and they kind of didn't really do that. So I hope she's in Doomsday. I really hope she's in Secret Wars, and I think she will be. And yeah, I want to see her fight Doctor Doom. I would really like to see that.
I think they made a mistake when they made her sequel into the Marvels. I just don't, they kind of weighed her with these two other great characters. Yeah, just call it Captain Marvel 2, like everybody who saw it before, but the Marvels sounds like something different. And it also tied the movie a little bit closer to the studio, which some people were like, oh, another one at that point. And I do want to get into that.
They should have called it Captain Marvel Maverick. Captain Marvel Maverick.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of wish they would have gone
Captain
back.
Marvel, Maisel.
My thing I always say about the Marvels is I don't know why the most interesting shit happened before the movie starts. Like her destroying the Supreme Intelligence and all that stuff. That's really cool and fun. Anyways, we're Monday morning quarterbacking now. Details about Black Panther 3. Again, all rumors. This one doesn't surprise me. In terms of supernatural projects like Blade and Moon Knight, stuff like that, after Doomsday, Black Panther 3 is at the top of the list. What do you guys think about Black Panther 3 delving more into like supernatural mysticism?
Sure. I mean, that's Ryan Coogler just did Sinners, which was huge. He's obviously interested in that sort of stuff. Black Panther kind of leans that way anyway, so why not? And he seems to already have a pretty clear idea and cast members in mind, so that totally makes sense.
I think it's interesting because I understand that like the Wakandan like culture with all of like the heart-shaped herb and all of that, but they're also like, when I think of Wakanda, I think of tech. Like I just think of like this is like the most technologically advanced civilization on earth, and so it's funny to be like, I think it's interesting to it mirrors kind of like the real world right now in 2026, where it's like we have all of this like there's religion and spirituality, and then there's the advancements of medicine and science, and those come into conflict sometimes, and sometimes they work alongside of each other. So I think there's a lot of fun to be had with the sorry,
go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was just going to say, M'Baku in the first movie at the Waterfall Challenge talks about how they've dropped their traditional ways and they're letting all of their tech be invented. They're relying on technology, which, we do see like flashbacks and stuff. We see they already had advanced technology, but it seems like T'Challa and Shuri like supercharge that and really move them toward a technological evolution that maybe their society's not ready for. And also, of course, this is where Shuri's character goes in the comics. She goes from a Black Panther to a sorceress.
Wakanda also shows what Thor was talking about in his first movie when he says, where I come from, magic and science, it's kind of one and the same. Vibranium, it really is like a magical substance. Like you go to Wakanda, and yes, it's very techy, yeah, and when you go into Shuri's lab and stuff, but it's also just, it kind of feels a little bit Asgard. Just, everything is
it takes you to the afterlife.
Yeah. So I'm personally, I really like Winston Duke, who plays M'Baku. And Coogler's original plan for the second Black Panther movie was going to be Chadwick, T'Challa, taking his son on a journey, like to become,
a coming of age, I forget what they call it in tribal customs, but basically when you're going to become a man, you're with your father and you cannot leave your father's side. So when T'Challa gets pulled into some other shit, he has to bring his kid.
Right. I think it'd be cool to see M'Baku do that for little T'Challa.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Well, I'll also, just to throw out one other thing that ties into this discussion, I don't think they'll go this route, but the recent run of Ultimate Black Panther, which just wrapped up like earlier this year, they introduced this thing, and I don't think it was in the mainline comics, but it was sort of an opposite of vibranium, where vibranium is based in metal and technology. There was this organic substance that sort of balanced it out in sort of the harmony of the universe. They had, because it's the Ultimate Universe and it's not the same continuity, they go in some wild directions, and they have these two Moon Knights who want to possess the anti-vibranium that come in, which is very cool. But I wonder if they could pick out something like that and have exactly what we're talking about, where vibranium is this tech substance and somebody else has this anti-vibranium that is at least being sold as a magic substance, whether it is or not.
Is it
I
also a
personally think
metal?
if you're going to have a Reaper,
No, it's kind of like vines, sort of like
yeah,
it grows.
it's a weird yeah. I personally would like to see a thing where maybe a result of Secret Wars that would put Black Panther in an interesting position is to see vibranium neutralized around the world, which has happened in the comics before. So then they lose that technology and then they have to turn to spirituality. Maybe Shuri thinks she can find a solution at first, I can fix it, and then doesn't. But the other rumors involved here.
And they did just introduce adamantium. That could.
They did, yeah. It's really early in development, but the stories are a coming-of-age story for T'Challa II. They've dropped Junior from his name. The conflict may involve his mother, Nakia, not wanting her son to take on the burdens of being Black Panther and heir to the Wakandan throne. Makes total sense to me.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very elegant solution, is age up little T'Challa, just call him T'Challa, and he's becoming Black Panther, whatever happens to Shuri, but that gets around all of the concerns about recasting Chadwick Boseman. It's a different character, but you call him the same thing.
And I'm really excited about the, and apparently Coogler's also looking at the ancestral plane of mutants, which is really cool. Like, and there's, Storm is a great place. Storm is married to T'Challa in the comics. Like, there's all these really cool places we could see the X-Men before we see them in the X-Men. And I'm kind of curious where Wolverine's going to pop into that, man. I like the idea of Wolverine being in a damn bar fight, not seeing him again. Like Lobo, but done better,
I recently said I want my R-rated World War II Steve Rogers and Wolverine movie. And I would love for it to be Chris Evans and Hugh Jackman. But if they wanted to introduce like the 616 Wolverine, that would be a cool way to do it. Like, bring in whoever the new actor that's going to be in there. And then in that movie, you could maybe explain where the hell he's been. And then you bring him back in.
Because that is
cool.
the fun thing. The fun problem that has to be addressed in a flashback movie like that is like, at no point in the last 20 years of Marvel movies was Chris Evans like, I actually worked with a guy in World War II that had these amazing that would be really helpful for this situation.
That would be good.
We got SDCC. We're going to, do some run up to SDCC and stuff. But before we get into super chats, I just want to know from you guys real quick, what do you expect Marvel to talk about at SDCC? You got like one hot take prediction that they're going to unveil?
Maybe the title of the X-Men movie or the Mutants movie, whatever it's going to be.
Cool. And they've already announced the director, so maybe cast. I don't think they want to steal too much thunder from Doomsday and everything else, but imagine they do the cast though, and Sadie Sink can't be a part of the announcement.
Yeah, he'll probably do the one more thing that he kind of got from Jobs with the Apple presentations.
Oh yeah. Kind of like with the Serpent Society. Oh wait, that's supposed to be Civil War, and then that comes out. I think we'll get a Black Panther 3 title. Yeah, and like Coogler will be there. I think that'll happen for sure.
Wakanda forever. Yeah,
I kind of feel like the Champions is going to get its due. I don't know. I feel like if they're going to do anything else involved in Secret Wars, the Champions or Young Avengers, whatever you call it, that's the one thing all through the saga where I'm like, yes, that is what they build toward. We have seen those characters seated in all these things, and they're going to be really fun to see them interact together.
It would be really fun and probably not going to happen. But if they did actually announce a Midnight Suns movie and you just hear a motorcycle rev and Nicolas Cage rise out on stage, like that would blow the roof off of all age.
What they should do if they're going to do that is just bring Mahershala Ali back again, and then he put the blade hat on him again.
Oh, no, they can't.
Or they take the hat off of him and he puts on a Midnight Suns hat.
There you go. Wesley Snipes come and pick up the blade hat.
There's only ever going to be one blade hat.
Let's see. Swifties3 gave us £5 and said, "Love your stream. Shine hello." And Anya Magic said that Anya Taylor-Joy's Magic return being considered. How reliable is this? I have no idea. Is there any chance she'll be in Secret Wars? I love her.
I saw that. I didn't see it directly from My Time to Shine Hello. I saw a tweet of someone quoting My Time to Shine Hello. So I don't know the validity.
I don't like My Time as a leaker personally, but I'll get that in a second. Go ahead.
I love Anya Taylor-Joy, and I've been saying that I want her involved in X-Men. Like, I want her in Marvel, but specifically an X-Men character. I don't care who. If they want to bring her back as Magic, Sure. I thought New Mutants was fine. I went and saw it during COVID at a drive-in, and the screen was so dim, and I couldn't tell what was going on. So I left, but then I watched it on streaming whenever it came out, and yeah, it was fine. It was fine.
Loaded cast.
Yeah, I like New Mutants. I know that's not exactly what we're talking about. Definitely that was the period when I came in on comics, so I was already kind of in the tank for it. But as it goes in some not great directions, but as initially just like a nasty little horror movie that's starring mutants, it's really cool and it's fun. And like we're saying, Anya Taylor-Joy is great in the part. They could bring back, oh my God, what's her name? Maisie
Williams.
Maisie Williams as Rain Sinclair, potentially. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be up for seeing that cast again. I think
the whole cast is loaded. They're all really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of look at it. They go, well, if you're doing Young Mutants, is Ilyana going to be a member of the X-Men? Are you doing Colossus? I'm kind of a purist when it comes to that, because what I like about the MCU is seeing how they reinterpret how we got the original cast of Avengers, and it was still Loki united them, but it was done in a fun cinematic way. Phil Arumba from Down Under, friend of the channel, gave us $3 Australian and said, White Queen casting your mom, bastard. Treats for Doug. Johnny Mashed Potatoes gave us $5. Said, if I've learned anything, it's that the Russo brothers, so that happened, comedy style movies are dead. So I have real doubts about Avengers quality. I do think that you saw a lot of this in movies like He-Man. There's a little bit too much of the movies afraid to take themselves seriously. But given the doomsday marketing, I think they might have the exact opposite problem. I think this movie takes itself so seriously. It's like a Fellini did a Marvel film. Is how they're. And
some of the leaked things about, like, there's scenes in this movie that are going to be really upsetting for Marvel fans. Like, that type of information makes me
and kids. Some of the leaks I've read, I don't talk about them here, but I'm like, this sounds ass. I don't want to see this, but maybe I'm just
ready for the Variety Dude's review where he says Dr. Doom. What a name! Where'd you come up with that for your bad guy?
A guy who wears a mask all the time. This dude's ripping off Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite. Like George Lucas totally ripped off Darth Vader, and Jack Kirby thought so too. Yeah. Ryan Kelly gave us $5 and says, should Marvel Zombies 2 adapt the Ultimate FF storyline where Zombie Reed tricks Reed? It was the beginning of Marvel Zombies. I remember that when that came out. I got to tell you, man, if they're going to do the FF stuff, I'm really disappointed we never got Miles Teller as the Maker during the Multiverse Saga. I love that villain, the Maker like an evil Reed Richards.
That's the kind of stuff I want them doing with the What If banner, whatever you want to call it. Just have those come out almost like comics. Like I want some new stuff hitting Disney Plus like every month, just like 30-minute fun things in that universe where you could tell stories like that. Yeah, that's what If should have been.
You remember the end credits of What If Season 3 when they just showed us a bunch of interesting shit that was better than what we saw in the entire season? Anyway, sorry, Alex.
No. I was just going to say, like, I actually love the idea of taking a Marvel Zombies 2 and then flipping it back to the Ultimate Universe, because frankly, my question after the first season of Marvel Zombies is, I don't know what else you do in that pseudo MCU adjacent universe. But like Colton was saying, just like, we're never going to see the Ultimate Universe on screen because that essentially became the MCU, so it would feel repetitive. So instead, hardcore go into, adapting the comics version of that universe, have zombies break into there. Just whole hog, go for it. That would be really fun. Like, go crazy with this stuff. Go nuts.
And I don't see a reason. I don't want it to be MCU. I don't want the characters to look like they do, like base it on the actor. Just do like what they're doing with Friendly Neighborhood, right? Like it's just its own thing. He doesn't look like Tom Holland, really. Just have your own little Marvel universe there where you have fun and let creative people come in and tell these wild stories. I think that would be a lot of fun.
We've got here, I'm not going to try to pronounce this name. Weebicky Boom gave us €6 and said, when do you guys think that Lilith comes to the MCU, and is the Hunter real in the MCU, or would they just push it to the background? Lilith is, well, I remember she's a horror villain in Midnight Suns, isn't she, Alex? And the Hunter is her kid, if I remember right.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember. I can picture her in my head, but...
Me too. I never really read the Midnight Suns books. It was never like my corner of Marvel in that particular time period.
Like the first one was the daughter of Dracula. That's who she was.
Makes sense.
And the second one is just a demon.
and the rumors were that the Blade movie could still revolve around Dracula, which would be cool. I also kind of feel like, though, whatever POV character they're going to have for Blade to explain things to is going to be like Dracula, like the Francis Ford Coppola movie. Like they're going to kind of add that sort of MCU sardonic twist to it. I would much rather just be, oof.
Why don't they have Coogler do it? I know that's a really obvious choice, but just let him do it.
He's making a Marvel. I would settle for Jordan Peele. Phil Rumba from Down Under gave us $3 Australian. Said thanks for another great show, great panel. And Straight Edge Knight gave us $5 and said, "What's better, The Dark Knight or the Batman?" As much as I enjoyed the Batman, I prefer the Dark Knight personally. That's not a controversial take. But what do you guys think?
Wait, was that your answer there at the end, or that was the?
No, that's him. That's him.
Oh, okay, all right.
He answered his own question.
I think the Dark Knight is the better movie, but the Batman is the closest I felt we've gotten to an actual Batman on the screen. And just for that, like I tend to watch the Batman more than the Dark Knight, but they're both really good movies.
I love the Dark Knight. I'm a Dark Knight.
Yeah, me too.
Stan, as the kids would say.
I can't answer. I don't know.
Well,
you've never seen either movie.
I've never seen a Batman. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you know who Batman is? Should we explain it?
Robin guy myself.
Okay.
Let me move this question sideways then and ask you guys, do you feel like the Batman was too long? Because that knocks it down in a lot of people's lists.
Okay, you said that. That crossed my mind when I was thinking. And then the other thing is I don't like the third act of The Dark Knight. I think The Dark Knight is really good, except that I don't dig the third act. And the Batman's a little long. So I was trying to do, like, when you asked the question, I was trying to do like the scoreboard of, okay, which one has more negatives?
Both have that problem.
Really good.
They both have that problem because like the ferry scene is like, oh, and we're doing this again. Okay, here we go on The Dark Knight. And then with the Batman, as soon as they get to the flood of the city and he's in Gotham Square Garden or whatever they call it, like, all right, we're still going. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I liked the third act in the Batman. It was long, but I did like that last twist that, oh, it's not over because he's secretly been inspiring this conspiracy army. And the funny thing is, I think they wrote that pre-January 6th as well. So it just kind of ended up being like fortuitous that all that stuff aligned with the real world. Or not fortuitous, depending on how you look at it.
No, really good, man. I think it's been awesome. I think the Riddler being an incel manosphere influencer was really awesome for society, actually.
I like that the Riddler's
I think it was awesome for the movie.
Bro.
Yes, I agree.
I love that he's just asking questions, bro.
Yeah, what are we
He's just thinking critically, bro.
I love he does his own independent research, you know?
What's black and white and red all over? Yeah.
What is?
Let's see. Cursatune Unpronounceable gave us $2 Canadian, a toonie, and said, sending us some Canada Day vibes. Well, we should send you Canada Day vibes after Colton disparages your country. And we, Kimbo, I'm not going to try to say the name again, €2, and said, are we going to see the Ultimate Universe soon on screen? I think we already have. I think that's pretty much what they adapted. More than the straight up comics.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I think there's actually, since there's two Ultimate Universes, they could do one of them, but I don't think we're going to see it live action. If anything, they would do animated for something, like particularly with the announcement that they're doing an absolute Batman cartoon. There's got to be a development somewhere. Like, could we do Ultimate Spider-Man as a cartoon, even though they already have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? So maybe I'm sure it's.
And they've also done Ultimates as, you know, the Ultimates were animated movies as well, at least the first two. I don't think they ever did three, but and there's some great storylines in the Ultimates. Like, I think, but again, like when they started adapting Marvel movies, Nick Fury, you know, was played by Samuel L. Jackson. The Avengers were a government sponsored organization. Even the Fantastic Four movies skewed closer to the Fantastic Four Ultimate Comics and the real thing. So I doubt it. I think if anything, they'll go more to the MCU roots, but it's exciting. Like, I know I'm a little bit like cautious about Doomsday just because logistically I have no idea how the hell this movie could work. But overall, Marvel-wise, I'm pretty excited that they took our notes about doing less and quality over quantity. And that's it, guys. We got to call it right there. But thank you for joining us. Oh, shit, Tommy, look at the time. You got to tend to some Clydesdales, I think.
Janet, 6 to a harness, okay? You can put 6 in a harness. You try to put 7 in there, then I'm a horse's ass. Guys, I got to get out of here. I'm so sorry.
That parking lot's going to be a nightmare to get out of. I'll talk to you later, man. Watch your step. My voice cracked when I said that about I sounded like Christopher Walken for a second. Like, the
like
Clydesdales are outside. You got to watch your step, Tommy. There's going to be crazy horse shit outside. Oh shit, Alex, are you ready to get off? Are you ready to get back on the phone yet? What's going on?
Yeah, no, I'm still on hold. I'm gonna figure out what this tune is. I think maybe it's Coldplay or U2 or something like that. I'll just listen a little bit more.
If you work it out, let me know. Hopefully we'll talk X-Men 97 tomorrow. And if not, happy 4th of July. And you can find Alex on the Comic Book Club podcast. And Colton, you can find him here on the channel or on his own channel. Thanks for joining us, pal.
Remember when they spammed everyone's iPhone with U2's album? That was crazy.
And then it was like glitter of the phone and you couldn't get rid of it. Yeah, I remember it really well. Glitter is a nice way of saying herpes of the phone because it wasn't the worst album ever. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And we want to hear from you guys. Let us know your thoughts on U2's album. They stuck on our phones like herpes, and your thoughts on Marvel and what's coming up soon. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan.